All right, so it looks like it is going to be Maru versus Dark here. And again, Dark, he doesn't care about his life as long as he wins one of these two games. That is all that matters. And folks, I got bad news. It is Pride of Altaris for this map number 1. Maru really drew on the short straw in two of the three first maps that he has had to play. I mean, Glittering Ashes and Pride of Altaris. I mean, you talk to any Terran, and those are by far the two worst maps that they've run into. Although what's interesting, at least you talk to some of the Korean Terrans, they're starting to say they really don't like Blackburn too, which is really funny in this matchup, because for quite a while Zerg was saying, yeah, Blackburn is pretty Terran favored because of the tank pushes that they can make happen. But kind of like Golden Wall, they've started to learn about it, and then you just kind of run into the second map, the second meta of the map, where you just kind of expand away from the Terran, and the Terran really struggles to push. But again, that's not this map. So what I'm really curious about, I know I talked about it a little bit earlier, the series planning for Maru is an extremely technical thing. Because if you think about it, Maru has to win 8 straight maps without losing a single one. And what this means is that he's going to have to be somewhat varied in his playstyle, because you know Dark was watching those 2 series against Rogue. You know, Zest has been watching how Maru has been playing, and while they're different matchups, maybe it gives him some insight into how his opponent is looking to play. That means Maru has to just be, again, extremely cognizant of how his opponent wants to play this game, or really wants to play every single game. You show any match, you're probably only going to have it happen once. Oh, and yeah, of course. How could we forget? Kira is looking at this as well, although if you're trying to kill anyone, I would send out Protoss and Zergs against Maru before I would send out a Terran. I mean, we all remember Bunny eventually knocked Maru down in, what was it, the GSTL, I think. And Bunny did eventually do that. But in general, Maru just does not lose TVT. Not really, not at all. So we have Zest waiting in the wings, should Dark fall here. We have Hero waiting in the wings, who, by the way, has been looking incredible recently. Honestly, he's my Dark Horse top 4 pick for Katowice. And yeah, you know, we got Kira too if we want. And every single one of them are going to be studying this series. Studying the last 4 games that Maru did play. Looking for any glimpse, any idea, any advantage that they can find as they look to knock down the Team NV Terran. So it's almost looking like we're going to see battle. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say it's almost looking like we're going to see battlecruiser play for Maru in this game, just really based off the starport positioning. Although, I mean, the Viking does show that starport exists. Putting that starport so far back does... Oh. That is interesting. Actually, I think the play there is to let the Overlord live just a little bit longer to see that that is a starport, or excuse me, a tech lab on the barracks and not the starport. Just trying to convince Dark that this is stim timing instead. But Dark doesn't see that. He just sees the spinning tech lab. So for all he knows, this could be Banshee play. Which I guess is good, because if Dark thinks this is Banshee play, he's not going to go Roaches. And he's not going Roaches anyways. He's going instead for a very heavily upgraded Ling Bane style. I mean, look at the timing here. It is, you know, he got his 1-1 started before 5 minutes, before his lair, significantly before his lair. So he's going to look to just go and overwhelm, flood Maru across the map with Lings and Banes. because Pride of Altaris is such a big map that it really is hard for the Terran player to defend against these Lingbane run-bys while putting pressure on the map, while defending all of their bases. And of course, there's the fact that the Zerg can very easily take a gold, which means either they get ludicrous amounts of money, or they can keep their drone count a little bit lower and still have a normal game income. Both of which are, of course, very valid ways to play. But, oh, again, Mario's looking to mech it happen. And Pride of Altaris is a far, far better mech map than Glittering Ashes is. You just have you have 3 levels of high ground to defend with tanks. It's just so hard for Roach Ravager to push on in. Although, I mean, Rogue should know about this by now because there are so many Hellions on the map here. Battlecruiser is going to teleport on in as well. The armories are actually going to be done in a second here. We're going to see Hellbat morph, I think. And this 4th base of Dark may be forced to cancel. But instead he says, okay, well, I'm going to give this base up for now. Yeah, it gets canceled. The drone does die as well here. But it's a big run by into the 3rd base. Maru's not going to be able to mine from that 4 at a time. The wall's got to be careful. Maru, don't drag him through that wall. You just got to be careful for now. Hellions are going to look to run on home here. 5-6 workers are going down. And Dark's pretty happy about that. Dark will manage to survive there. And, oh, I love this. So, we got a Nidus on the way. We have an infestation pit done. I think we're going to see the style of anti-mech infestor, excuse me, not infestor, Swarm Host Nidus play, where you just kind of drop the Nidus in front of the Terran, add a bunch of queens to it, drop creep, and the minute the Terran moves away, you just say, ah, yeah, no. That's not allowed. Locust in your face. As opposed to kind of like the more harassing style, or even like the straight up, just this straight up. Well, I'm gonna build 8 swarm hosts and I'm gonna have a bunch of Roach Ravager. I'm just going to drop locusts on your head to distract the tanks, and then kill you with my Roach Ravager. And I don't know whether Maru has actually scouted out that a Nidus is hitting the field. Certainly he's not seen the Swarm Host yet, although Infestation Pit is something that you could surmise, and there we go. So the Nidus is going to get scouted here. The Queens and the Locusts are going to get scouted out here as they're going to find their way, wind their way immediately into the natural. And by the way, there is no blue flame. These Locusts are not going to die nearly as quickly as they may otherwise do. A couple workers are going to go down, but not as bad as I thought. Maru quick on the drone pull, or on the SCV pull, excuse me. He will lose only 4. And for now, that looks like it's going to be maybe enough here. And the Queen push is interesting because Maru, he really reacted to the Nidus play of Rogue in that last game, primarily by just running his battle cruisers over, saying, okay, well, you know, Swarm Hosts don't shoot up, Nidus don't shoot up. It's fine. I can deal with this fairly simply. But with all of these queens here to push creep forward, it gives you so much vision. But also, you know, just it forces the battle cruisers away as the Locusts are going to go on in there. They're going to knock down a couple tanks. They're going to start finding worker damage as well. The friendly fire actually of these tanks is maybe even going to be more of a problem than the Locusts are themselves. But actually, they didn't get that much this time. And while the supply tells a compelling story, I mean, it's Swarm Host. It is Swarm Host Roach Ravager. 3 of the most supply inefficient units in the game for the Zerg. So Dark is going to have to start doing something with this. He is maxed out. He's starting to build a bank. He's only on 70 workers compared to the 91 of Maru. That might be a little excessive. But the Locusts are now going to find their way on in, looking to tank away at these tanks. And there we go. We got the army running on in. Zerglings getting on top of the first line. It takes the tanks on the high ground, with the Locusts taking care of that one. And it looks like Maru, he's going to get broken here. Supply is falling. It's all plummeting. Queen's moving up on the high ground. And tank's going to have to siege, but it's not yet. The 3rd base is just going to go down in a rain of bile and fire. And now Dark streaming on into the natural. A championship, a victory in his grasp. And Maru, what can he do here? How can he come back from this? Are 3 tanks and 3 battle cruisers going to be enough? It looks like the answer is no. The Zerglings get on top. And Dark, he takes the game. He takes the series. He takes the championship. He takes WTL Winter. And Maru, his victory, his streak, it ends at 2. And that is going to be that. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the team of aces, will not be stopped by the best player in the world. Team Envy's banner goes silent. It goes dark. And Dragon Phoenix Gaming is your champion here of WTL Winter 2021.